Hello student, I am Professor Devashish Bose, Head, Department of Criminology and Forensic Science, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Today, I am going to present a lecture of BSc 5th semester on the unit General Idea and Examination of Vegetable and Plant Poison Part 2, which has been jointly prepared by myself and Ms. Priyanka Pahade, PhD scholar, a UGC JRF at Department of Criminology and Forensic Science, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar. So, let's start our discussion while taking a look at what we are going to learn today. Today, in Module 1, we will see Introduction to Vegetable and Plant Poison and their classification, mainly chili, Dhobie's marking nut, madar. Module 2 will be Preliminary Examination of the above mentioned plant poison. Module 3 will be the confirmatory examination of the above mentioned same plant poison. Module 4 will be forensic importance of these plant poison. Module 5 will be dedicated to case study, and finally Module 6 will be our conclusion. Module 1, Introduction to Vegetable and Plant Poisons and their classification, chili, marking nut, madar. Before moving towards a particular characteristics of these plant poisons, I want to tell you about their common properties. These plant poisons are irritant in nature. Irritant means they cause itching, redness and blisters on the skin. So let's start with Capsicum annum. The common name is chili, red pepper, lal mirch. The capsicum genus is a member of the Solanaceae family, which includes tomatoes, potatoes, etc. The genus includes chili pepper, red pepper and paprika, but not black pepper. Capsicum fruits are grown all over India. They are powdered and they are used as spices in preparing curry, chutneys, pickles or other food preparation. It has a pungent odor and taste and is widely used in India and all over the world. Active principle. The active ingredients are capsaicin and capsaicin. The pungent nature is due to an alkaloid. Signs and symptoms. On oral ingestion in large dose, capsicum acts as an irritant poison. It produces burning sensation in mouth and stomach, difficult in swallowing, pain in abdomen. It causes severe acute acidity. The esophagus, stomach and small intestine are inflamed and necrosis may be seen. Large intake of chili may cause peptic ulcer. On dermal contact, intense burning pain, hyperglycemia, erythema and dermatitis after handling chili powders with bare hand are seen. When chili powder is thrown into eye, it causes redness, itching and inflammation of conjunctiva. It is very common. Treatment. Wash local skin with ice cold water for about 15 minutes. Emollients cream. Irrigation of eyes. Give demulcent and ice cube to suck if symptoms due to ingestion. Medico-legal importance. Robbery. Chili powder is thrown in the eyes to facilitate robbery. Burning of chili powder by superstitious people to scare away ghost and spirit. For obtaining confession, chili powder is introduced to private parts. Peppery spray used by ladies in the West to drive away potential molesters. Homicidal asphyxia in children by forcibly introducing chili into nostril and mouth of unwanted young children. Hyderabadi goli. A lathi is liberally plastered with chili powder and thrust up into the victim's private parts to extort confession. Chilies are also used in human torture. Chili powder is put in vagina, rectum, urethra and eyes and rubbed over breast. The chili seeds resemble to that of dhatura seeds. Semicarpus anacardium. It is also known by different names like Dhobie's marking nut, Bhilava, in Sanskrit Agni Mukhi. Family Anacardiaceae. It is a native of India. Salient features. It is a tree of moderate size, with large stiff leaves. Fruit 1 inch long, ovoid, heart shaped, smooth and shining black when ripe, seated on fleshy orange colored cup. Has a rough projection at the base, has a thick cellular pericarp which contains a bitter irritant juice which is acrid, brownish and oily. It turns black on exposure to air. The fruit of this tree is called marking nut. It is commonly used by washermen to put marks on clothes. Active principle are semicarpol 0.1%, monohydroxyphenol, bilavanol, orthodihydroxy compound, 15 to 17% mixture of cis and trans isomers of urushiol fatty acids, tannic acids. Signs and symptoms. When taken orally, it causes blisters on throat and causes severe gastric irritation. The stomach mucosa and intestinal mucosa may be congested and inflamed. Ulceration may be seen. Dyspnea, tachycardia, hypotension and finally death may occur. When come in contact with the skin, it also causes blister on that. Also used in criminal abortion due to its irritation nature. Generally used for artificial bruising. Fatal dose and fatal period. 5 gram is sufficient to kill a person. Small amount of oil is also sufficient to cause blisters. The fatal period could be for 12 to 14 hours approximately. Treatment: wash with lukewarm water, apply antiseptic, gastric lavage, demulcents. Postmortem appearance: mouth, palate, throat and other oral structure shows blisters and inflamed. Stomach congestion and may show fragments of seeds. Medical legal importance: accidental poisoning may result from the administration of juice internally. Artificial bruises are made on arms, thighs, breasts, etc. to bring a false charge of assault. The juice may be used criminally as an aborificant by application to uteri by using abortion stick. Infidelity: juice is introduced to the vagina as a punishment. The juice is also used as vitriol and used to be thrown on face with evil intention. It may be applied to the genitals as a punishment for adultery. It may also be used by maligners to produce an artificial bruise to support a false charge. Occupational poisoning: Dhobi mark dermatitis is seen in Indian washermen who used marking nut in their work. Next we come to Calotropis gigantica, madar. The plant belongs to the dogbane family, Apocynaceae, commonly known as milkweed because of the thick and milky latex. The plant grows almost everywhere in India. 2 varieties are there. One is Calotropis gigantica which has purple flowers and another is Calotropis procera which has white flowers. It is a perennial shrub growing up to 2.5 meter with branches and sub-branches. Calotropis yield a durable fiber useful for ropes, carpet, fishing net and sewing thread. Fermented mixture of these is used to remove the hair from goat skin for production of nari leather and of sheep skin to make leather, which is much used for expensive book binding. Fungicides and insecticides property of Calotropis have also been reported. Cattle do not eat this plant because of their unpleasant taste and due to presence of cardiac glycosides in their sap. Active principle: Calotropis mainly contain 3 active principles, namely saccharin, calotoxin and calotropin. Apart from that, some active principles are also present. They are calacatin, trypsin and stardin. Signs and symptoms: external application: the milk juice of madar when applied externally causes redness and vesication of the skin. Application in eyes: when applied into the eyes, it produces conjunctivitis, creatitis and coronal edema which may result in impartment of vision. It is often used for local eye ailments. Ingestion. When taken internally, the juice acts as a gastrointestinal and cerebrospinal poison. It produces an acrid, bitter taste, vomiting, burning pain in the mouth and stomach, salivation, diarrhea, dilated pupils, tetanic convulsions, and occasionally collapse and death. Powdered madar root may sometimes be used as snuff. Fatal dose and fatal period uncertain and not known. 6 to 12 hours is the fatal period approximately. Treatment: gastric lavage, demolescent. Symptomatic treatment is given. Postmortem appearance: pupils is generally dilated, mouth, stomatitis, froth are generally seen. Nostrils, froth comes out from the nostril. Gastrointestinal tract, the mucosa is generally congested. Brain, abdomen and viscera are normally congested. Medico-legal importance. Artificial or false proofs, they are produced by its juices. Infanticide, by mixing madar milk with milk or water and given to the infant. Aborificant, for causing abortion by internal administration and by local application by means of abortion stick. Cattle poison, by smearing madar milk on a cloth and pushing into the rectum of the animal. Arrow poison, it is also used as arrow poison for killing wild animals and occasionally it is used on human being. The root of Calotropis procera is highly poisonous to cobra and other poisonous snake which cannot even stand smell. Therefore, snake charmers use it to control the newly caught snake. All parts of the plant may be useful, that is, flowers as digestive stimulants, leaves as external pollutants, the powder root as an emetic and the milky juice as a vesicant, depilatory and for treatment of chronic skin condition. Folk medicine, Indian medicine use flower, leaves, root and juices. Leaves are used for body pain, burns, jaundice, mumps and snake bite. May cause poisoning if injuriously used. It may cause accidental poisoning. White flowers of these plants are used in India for worship of Lord Shiva and purple flower for Lord Hanumana. May cause accidental poisoning and conjunctivitis. Homicidal poisoning is rare because of its bitter taste. With this, we come to the end of module 1 and now we move on to next module, that is module 2, preliminary examination of the above mentioned plant poisons. Preliminary examination of the above mentioned plant poison. Preliminary examination of Capsicum annum. Microscopical appearance of Capsicum annum seeds. Alkaloid test. 0.5 gram of each extract is stirred with 5 ml of 1% aqueous hydrochloric acid on a steam bath. 1 ml of the filtrate was treated with a few drops of Mayer's reagent and the second 1 ml portion was treated similarly with Dragonruff reagent. Turbidity or precipitation with either of these reagents was taken as preliminary evidence for the presence of alkaloids in the extract. Preliminary examination of Semicarpus anacardium. This plant poison is extracted with alcohol. Take a test sample in test tube that prepared with ethanol, then add alkaline lead acetate, green-black precipitate appear. Sample prepared in alcohol produces green or blue-green color on addition of alcoholic potassium hydroxide. To find out whether a vesicle on the skin is produced by marking nut juice, remove the epidermis of vesicle and extract it with absolute alcohol or apply lint soaked in absolute alcohol under gutta percha tissue over the vesicle. The alcoholic extract with a few drop of alcoholic solution of caustic potash assumes a bluish green color. Physiological test on boiling of Bhilava extract with potassium hydroxide, vesicating properties destroyed, whereas in other material it does not. Physiological test. In test sample, mix olive oil and apply on the abdomen of rabbit. After 4 to 5 hours, blisters will form there that change by passing of time. Preliminary examination of Calotropis gigantea with concentrated hydrochloric acid. To a small portion of residue of the extract, a few drops of concentrated hydrochloric acid is added and slightly warmed. A greenish blue color is formed. With concentrated sulfuric acid. To a small portion of residue of the extract, a few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid is added. A pink to purple color developed after a few minutes. With Frod's reagent. To a small portion of residue of extract, 2 drops of Frod's reagent is added. A deep green blue color changing to blue and finally to green develops. Ester test. Reflux extract for 1 hour with 5 ml dilute hydrochloric acid and then add equal amount of distilled water to it for dilution. After that, place it on temperature of 8 to 10 degrees centigrade for about half an hour. Its smell like fruit shows the presence of Calotropis substance. With this, we come to the end of preliminary examination of the above mentioned plant poison. Now we come to module 3, confirmatory examination of the above mentioned plant poison. Confirmatory test for capsicum annum. A modified form of thin layer chromatography method was used. 1 gram of extract was treated with 40% calcium hydroxide solution until the extract was distinctly alkaline to litmus paper and then extracted twice with 10 ml portion of chloroform. The extracts were combined and concentrated in porcelain dish to 5 ml. The chloroform extract was then spotted on thin layer plates. Different solvent systems were used to develop each plant extract. The presence of alkaloid in the developed chromatogram was detected by spraying the chromatogram with freshly prepared drag and drop spray reagent. A positive reaction on the chromatogram indicated by an orange or darker color spot against a pale yellow background was confirmatory evidence that the plant extract contained an alkaloid. Confirmatory test for Semicarpus anacardium. Inductive coupled plasma with atomic emission spectroscopy is a new technique for examination of elemental analysis of plant extract of this plant poison. High performance thin layer chromatography and high performance liquid chromatography both were used for the qualitative and quantitative analysis. Confirmatory test for Calotropis. Paper chromatography. Whatman filter paper number 1. Solvent system. 2% solution of ammonium sulfate. Solvent front 15 cm. Detection under UV light at 254 nm. Spray reagent. Spraying a solution of fast blue B salt in 50% of ethanol. After that 0.1 N aqueous solution of potassium hydroxide should be sprayed. Result: RF value for saccharin 0.82, calotoxin 0.53 and calotropin 0.93. Thin layer chromatography. Layer silica gel G 250 mm, solvent front 10 cm, solvent system chloroform, diethyl formaldehyde, ethanol in the ratio of 70:10:20. Detection was made under UV light at 254 nm. Spray reagent, spray solution of fast blue B, after that 0.1 N aqueous solution of potassium hydroxide should be sprayed. Result: RF value for saccharin 0.78, calotoxin 0.85 and calotropin 0.95. Paper electrophoresis. Paper Whatman filter paper number 1, buffer pH 8, voltage at time 300 volts 2 hour. Detection under UV light at 254 nm. Spraying reagent, spray solution of fast blue B. Result: Sharon blue color. Thin layer electrophoresis. Thin silica gel G 250 mm, electrolyte, pyridine, acetic acid, water in the ratio of 30:10:60. Voltage at time 300 volt for 2 hours. Detection under UV light at 254 nm. A blue color is seen. With this, we come to the end of this module and now move on to module number 4, that is case study. Module 4, case study, case 1, related to marking nut. This is an interesting case which has been taken from Toxicological Review of Bhalatak, Semicarpus anardicum, written by Pavade Uday Venkat Rao. The case, as during his wife's absence a man had been carrying on with women, but on his wife's return he stopped visiting those women. The woman was very much annoyed with the wife of her lover, and as a punishment for alienating his love, she poured some juice of marking nut mixed with oil on the private parts of the wife when she was asleep and her husband was not at home. The woman was charged with having voluntarily caused grievous hurt by means of poison under section 326 of Indian Penal Code. Now we move on to another case related to marking nut. The case have been taken from Toxicological Reviews of Bhalatak, written by Pavade Uday Venkat Rao. In this case, a Hindu female of district Raichur administered with her finger ground marking nut to a child 7 months old. The child started vomiting and diarrhea soon afterward. There were blisters on the tongue. Blisters appeared on the chest, was touched by the woman with her soiled finger. The child died within 24 hours. Now we move on to module 5, forensic importance of these poison. Capsicum. Chilies may be used for the purpose of torture to extort money or confess a statement of some guilt by introducing them into the nostrils, eyes, private parts. So, traces of these substances will be present there. It may also be used by burning them under the nose, rubbing them on the breast of the females and covering the head with a bag that contains chili. For giving punishment to women in villages, so the bag could be present near the scene of crime. Used as Hyderabadi Goli. It is the colloquial expression denoting the heinous practice of extracting confession by police people in certain parts of India. Well powdered chili may be thrown into the eyes to facilitate robberies in home, buses and railway system. Semicarpus anacardium. Artificial bruises are made on arms, thighs, breasts, etc. to bring a false charge of assault. However, this can be detected by chemical analysis of the blister fluid. The juice may be used criminally as an aborificant by application to uteri by using an abortion stick. So, traces of this poison will be present on that part. The juices is used as vitriol has been thrown on the faces with evil intention. In this case, apart from acids, this type of substance also used by criminals to disfigure out women. So, particularly treatment should be taken into mind when such kind of cases appear. It may be applied to the genitals as a punishment for adultery. Calotropis gigantica. Madar juice is sometimes used for killing infants. Artificial or false bruises. These are produced by its juice to file false case against a person for earning money from them. The color produced by it will be different from real bruise. Infanticide. By mixing madar milk with dairy milk or water and given it to unwanted baby, mostly girl child. Aborificant. For causing abortion by internal administration and by local application by means of an abortion stick. Cattle poisoning by smearing madar milk on a cloth and pushing it into the rectum of the animal by bad intention. Evidences like cloth containing madar milk and bamboo used to push will be present near the crime scene. Arrow poisoning. It is also used as arrow poison. With this, we come to the end of Module 5 and will conclude this lecture in Module 6. At the end of these lectures, it could be summarized that the plants are very necessary part of our life, but they are also have some type of poisonous substance which shows their adverse effect on human or animal. So, this type of plant poisons needed to be examined properly and identified by using proper method. We had discussed about some of the poisonous plants in this unit, also about their primary and confirmatory examinations. It should also be taken into mind that while these plants are important in forensic point of view, which type of method is used to commit a crime. With all these information, here we come to the end of today's lecture. Do keep in mind what we discussed today. So, it's time for you all to do some self-study. This is Professor Devashish Bose signing off. If you want to learn more and enhance your knowledge, you may log on to our website for MCQ, quizzes, LORs at www.cec.nic.in. Till then, thank you and goodbye.